This is just crazy. LSU are locked in a battle that is just as close as we expected. Oh, it looks like he stepped out of bounds first, yeah. A lot of penalties today from South Carolina as well. Let's see. A lot from us, too. This game has been absolutely crazy. We'll go through every part of this game, every nook and cranny, but this game has been absolutely mad, just madness. How many opportunities LSU has had? How many opportunities LSU has wasted? How many turnovers? How many times the ball has been on the floor for LSU to win this game? Completely coughed up. It's been unbelievable. Two minutes and 3 seconds left. The review is going on right now. Okay. This game has been hard to take, hard to watch, hasn't it? Caden Durham, what a performance. What an incredible performance by Caden Durham. Put the ball in his hands. Aaron Anderson, he's had an incredible game as well. 11 carries for 98 yards, 2 touchdowns for the freshman Caden Durham, really in his first game. 5 catches, 6 targets, 96 yards for Aaron Anderson, 0 touchdowns. Get him in the end zone, win this game, get out of Columbia with a win. Come on. Come on, Tigers. Nuss and shotgun, play action. I like it. He's open. Lacey makes the play. Lacey makes the play. He's out at the 3-yard line. He runs into some LSU personnel. He's at the 3-yard line. What a play by Garrett Nussmeier. Lacey's up. He's good. Nussmeier with absolute ice water in his fucking veins. What a play. 1:56 left on the clock. Plenty of time. LSU have screwed the pooch in the red zone this game. They have to finish here. And remember, because of the missed extra point earlier, and then having to go for 2 later, LSU have coughed up at least 2 points. And so now we're down by 4 points. We're not down by 3 points where we could just kick a field goal here to tie it up. Obviously, you want to win the game. I'm not talking about not going for a touchdown. I'm saying if you have to, you can kick a field goal to tie it. We don't even have that option because of crazy first half errors and a couple after in the second half that we will get into that had just been – it's been incredible. LSU have had so many opportunities. This defense has caused quite a lot of turnovers. As many big busts and bad plays as they've given up, they also have caused a lot of havoc and chaos. And LSU on offense hasn't taken advantage of anything. They haven't really punched in any of these points from these turnovers. Look at this. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. LSU with 8 TFLs. 8 TFLs, 4 sacks. Yep, 4 sacks. Swinson has 2 sacks on the night. We got an interception. Zy Alexander's got that pick. Only 2 pass breakups, Stamps and Jordan Gilbert, interestingly enough. Only 1 quarterback hit, Jair Brown, actually. And then 4 forced fumbles. Sage Ryan, Jordan Gilbert. His was the first of the game. Braden Swinson with that swat that he had. And then Savion Jones. A lot of TFLs, a lot of opportunities to get the ball and score some points and end this game. And instead, LSU are facing a do or die series right here inside the red zone. This is LSU season right here. Maybe even if LSU screw this up here, they have another chance. Maybe they could. South Carolina's offense is that bad. If so, we would have only a couple seconds left. How many times? Yeah, we've got all 3 timeouts still. So LSU, say they throw a pick on the next play, they would probably have like 20 seconds left or something if they get the ball back, right? Let's see. Is it 2 or 3 or is it 156? I think it's 156. Yeah, 156. So no, LSU would have literally nothing left. Barely any time to do anything left, like 26 seconds, something like that. So there's no ifs, ands, or buts. LSU have to score a touchdown here and win this game. Walk out of here, win this game, get out of here. LSU should have lost this game in the first half. We hung around. In that third quarter, we did enough to really say, hey, we should win this game. Fourth quarter, we're doing enough to win this game, and we just keep giving it away to South Carolina, who should not be in this game. Robbie Ashford is their starting quarterback right now, and we are letting them bitch us around. If this is not a catch by Lacey, I don't know what a catch is. Are you kidding me? How are they even questioning if this is a catch or not? Of course it's a completed catch. Hell yeah, they changed the call. They overruled it. Like, if that's not a completed catch, what is a completed catch? Jesus. That's a huge play for LSU right there. 156, inside the 5. Let's finish this game off. Get under center. Stop doing the shotgun handoff shit. Caden Durham's on the field, though. Thank God. Caden Durham's on the field. I like the play call. He's got options. He took too long. Did he just... Oh, my God. He almost threw a pick. He almost threw an interception right there on the first play. Like, Nuss. Come on, man. You're killing me here. You're making me... I mean, now he's hobbling, too. He's limping. Like, you're giving us a heart attack, brother. Nuss, you got to hit him right there. You got him. You got him. Oh, man, Nuss, you've got to release it right there, brother. You've had him right there. You had that opportunity. Go, Caden. Go, go. Oh, shit. Is it Josh Williams? Penalty, too. There's so much going on in this game. It's insane. Like, this game is just wild. This game has been wild as fuck. 1:34, clock is ticking. You've got to finish this. We just wasted a fucking timeout right there. Are you kidding me? What the fuck was that? Like, I get it. Maybe, this is all there's going to be for this game. This is your last shot. You got 2 more timeouts left after this. 122, whatever. If prevent disaster, fine. If that's what you saw out there, okay, Kelly. But these dead ball timeouts, man. There's one every game. Wow. Yep. 1930. They just mentioned our stat last time. Perkins, he's had an interesting game. I'm not sure if it's been the game everyone would have wanted from him. He still made some plays. But man, it's so hard to even watch this shit. Oh my God. Second and goal. You've got to finish this. Off the fingers. Nuts. You keep getting yourself hurt. You're taking way too long to throw the ball. Come on, LSU. You got to score right here. You're going to score. You're going to score. You've got to punch it in. You're going to punch it in. LSU going to score right here. Yes. Josh fucking Williams scores the touchdown. Josh fucking Williams scores the touchdown with 1 minute and 12 seconds left. Josh Williams in the end zone. Josh Williams in the end zone for the touchdown. Josh Williams scores the touchdown. LSU lead 35-33 with 1 minute and 12 seconds left. Oh my God. We'll get that stat thing off there so we don't ruin the game if it's like ahead of the recording for anybody. Oh my God. PAT. LSU have only made one of these all day. There we go. Ramos is 2 for 2 now. Oh my God. Pimpton, Taylor, and Xavion come in tight. Xavion fake jet sweep to Xavion. Drags everybody around. Taylor and Pimpton block really well on this play. The offensive line are blocking beautifully here. Dellinger picks up 2 different blocks. Dellinger kicks ass right here. He gets one guy and then comes off and gets another just to get a piece of him to allow Josh Williams to make sure he gets in. Because Josh, instead, it would have been, him diving while they got it. Instead, he's comfortably the fuck in the end zone. This was a unbelievable game of adversity for LSU, and just a game where everything went wrong, and yet they were able to come back time after time after time to hang in here, and now take a lead with 1 minute and 12 seconds left. South Carolina have 3 timeouts. This is not over yet. LSU's defense have to finish the job here. Finish the fucking job here. Beat South Carolina right now. Get this over with. No more overtime. No, none of that shit. Finish it now. This game has been crazy. This has been an epic game. Wow. This game has been absolutely bonkers. It has been back and forth, seesaw crazy. We've already got 200 people in here, 181 just from YouTube. We've got 11. We just barely posted it on LSUODYSSEY.com, but we got 11 there. And on Twitter, we'll see. Ooh, Ashford gets taken out by Penn. Weeks in on it as well. Come on, come on, come on. Hurry up, hurry up. Sack him, sack him, sack him, sack him. Yes, Swinson. His third fucking sack of the night. Braden Swinson's third sack of the night. What a beautiful play here. I gotta film this. Swinson is just ridiculous. Third sack of the game. Come on, finish it here. Finish it here. 3rd and 8. Swinson coming around for his 4th. Oh my God. Someone going to make a tackle? Or are you going to wait for him to get 10 more yards? Jesus Christ. Swinson was almost probably an inch away from his 4th sack right there. Hell yes. Now South Carolina's penalties that were just going on all game, they were so undisciplined, come back to truly haunt them. God, guys, this game is killing me. Just end it. Finish it. You know, this defense has given us so many chances with these turnovers. And they've also cost us so many big plays. But just end this thing. End this thing. My God, guys, we just put them in field goal range. Are you kidding me? We just let Robbie Ashford put them basically on the edge of field goal range with like a 20-yard run there. Are you kidding me? Jesus, he makes that catch. Guys, they have time to work with here to get themselves in position to put this into overtime. Finish it, LSU's defense. Finish the fucking game. Sorry, I shouldn't swear anymore. Finish the game, LSU's defense. My God. Finish the game. 18 seconds. 2nd and 10. 36-33. Sanders with the ball. Whitweek stuffs him. Huge play. Just destroys that play call. It all comes down to this. Give us a block. Give us a block. This is he can make this. Career long of 46 yards from Alex Herrera, South Carolina's kicker. What's the official? 49 yards. Ooh. This is right on that. Oh my God, it's the game we envisioned, you know? It was going to be close. Come on, LSU. Don't let this thing go to overtime. It doesn't deserve overtime. You should have won this game a few quarters ago. You were lucky to be in it after the first half, but you dominated for most of the second half and you almost gave it away with how just wasteful you were. But finish it now. Block this thing. Put him off. Kelly ices him. Let's see how he goes. He takes a free shot there and misses. He shouldn't be allowed to take that free shot. That's bullshit. Like, how is that possible? Why does he get that free shot? If LSU can escape South Carolina with this win, this is going to be huge. The adversity that this team has faced all week. 3rd game in 13 days. No. Come on. Here he goes. Herrera with the field goal to tie it. Block this shit. Oh my God, is he going to score it? He misses. He just barely pulls it. He just barely fucking pulled it right at the last second. He barely hooks it. LSU survives. Oh my God. Rip your hearts out. Rip Beamer's hearts out. LSU win 36-33. Oh my fucking God. That thing looked dead on, and then it bent and 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 it just barely misses. Just barely hooks. But you know what? It did deserve overtime. This game did not deserve overtime. LSU pull it out. Oh my God. 36-33. The biggest game of the Beamer era, huh? Wow. LSU played one of the worst first halves I've ever seen in my life and somehow win this game. Somehow pull this thing out. And sadly, I'm hearing there's even more injury trouble, sadly, for LSU to follow after this game. That will be coming. But for right now, this deserves some props. LSU played one of the worst first halves I have seen in a while. from LSU, and they've played a few bad ones under Brian Kelly. They've played a few terrible ones under Coach O in that same era, 2021, 2020. But this was terrible. This was unbelievable how bad that first half was. And yet LSU only went into the half down 8 points in a half where they absolutely got completely outclassed in every way, shape, or form. Okay. LSU, you had so many people questioning, where are the dogs on this team? There's no dogs on this team. There's no dudes on this team. This team is getting outclassed. They're getting out physical. You didn't see any physicality from the offensive line. This offensive line was getting the shit beaten out of them. This offensive line had no push. We're doing nothing in that first half. But my God, did we turn it around in that second half. And the numbers I'm about to show you and just the eye test, the performances of what we saw, that was a tale of two halves. And at the same time, LSU still tried to throw this game away. LSU still tried to throw this game away in the second half. Right there at the end, even with LSU getting all these extra opportunities, extra possessions, they still continued to piss them away. And still our Tigers pulled the game out of the fire, won this shit 36-33. I mean, the numbers are just incredible. LSU were outgained 265 yards to 169 after the first half. Okay? In the first half, outgained by South Carolina by almost 100 yards, only 169. Okay? There was the blocked punt on Peyton Todd, one of the coolest blocked punts I've ever seen in my life. Okay? Shut out in 4 plays. We had first and goal at the 2-yard line, and we could not score. There was just 41 rushing yards, and 26 arrived on one play by Caden Durham in the first half. Terrible play calling, but also just poor execution all over the place, and an O-line that was beaten to a pulp, an O-line that was getting outsmarted. They were more. The other team was more athletic. You could feel that South Carolina's guys, Kennard, Edmonds, Stewart, they were more brutal. They were more savage. They were looking more forward to a fight than our guys were. Okay? It became sad to watch. You saw Will Campbell get beaten about 3 or 4 times, allowing free shots on Garrett Nussmeier. Garrett Nussmeier got walloped today, y'all. He got hit today. I don't know how many official hits they were given with or whatever, but I at least counted 3 free quarterback hits just allowed by Will Campbell alone. And that's not saying Will Campbell's a bad player. I'm just saying he's suffering from a moment here. And so is the entire offensive line. But that was in the first half. You saw Campbell getting beaten. You saw Chester and Emory Jones getting flagged. Dellinger, Frazier getting just pushed around. It's insane to think that this group could actually get Garrett Nussmeier hurt. At this point, we thought they were so imperious at pass blocking that there was just no way Nussmeier was ever going to get, hurt by these guys, right? You saw that low shot right at Nuss's knees, You saw him limping. You saw him get hit multiple times where he really should have been hurt from it, and somehow it just kept going. It was nuts. We only scored 3 points off of 2 turnovers in that first half. Forced 2 fumbles, only recovered 1. Had the interception as well. First bad snap you've ever seen by Slade Roy on special teams. And it's on that PAT. Todd can't collect it. They can't get it off. We lose a point there. It was so crucial. That was why we went into the half down 24-16 instead of 24-17. But really, LSU should have been going into that half like 24-3 or something. LSU were destroyed in that first half. And somehow, because of Garrett Nussmeier, because of the craftiness of this defense, because of Caden Durham, LSU were able to fight their way back into this game. Because of some plays by Sage Ryan and Harold Perkins. I know he got beaten. I know Sage Ryan allowed a touchdown, got beat on one play. But he had that strip sack that without that play, we don't win the game. I believe that was one of the only turnovers we scored off of in this game. Like, it was unbelievable how wasteful LSU were in this game. Let's take a look at this. Points off turnover. LSU only scored 3 points off of 2 turnovers. That doesn't make sense. That doesn't sound right. One second. Tell me what you all thought of this game. What did you think of this insane fucking roller coaster ride from LSU today? I mean, LSU were right on the brink of throwing away their season in a game where they had so many opportunities to ice this thing, to win this thing, to make a big impact on make a statement at some points after that first half. We allow all that stuff in the first half, but guess what? In the third quarter, we only allowed 1 yard to South Carolina and 0 points. They had 265 after the first half, only 266 yards after the third quarter. We were a different team behind the legs of Caden Durham because the defense was figuring it out. Braden Swinson had 3 sacks tonight. He was making plays, forcing fumbles. Major Burns even had a fumble recovery today. Sage Ryan, of course, with the strip sack. You saw Harold Perkins moved all over the place. Sage Ryan actually had 2 tackles for loss today. Okay. Braden Swinson, 3 sacks, 3 TFLs, 1 forced fumble. Savion Jones, 5 tackles, 1 sack, 1 TFL, 1 forced fumble as well. Gilbert with a forced fumble. Sage Ryan with a forced fumble. 4 different forced fumbles. Incredible. Didn't we get another pick, or was that called back? Yeah. Spears had that pick, but it was called back. Whit Weeks leads the way with 11 tackles, 8 of them solo. And you saw, he made a mistake or two. The Rocket Sanders run right up the edge, which wasn't completely his fault, but he should have been there to make the play. He wasn't. But you know what? I'll be damned if anyone's going to be saying he's the reason we almost just lost this game. LSU won this game as a team tonight, and they almost lost it as a team tonight. They almost threw this thing away. But really, some really concerning things about this team and the way that they do not start games well. They do not start games well. It's almost like they did not wake up for this game until they were down 17-0. Did it feel like that to you? You're such an LSU junkie. We got the game going on again. Let's see if Brian Kelly is going to be at the podium right now doing his thing. Unbelievable. This game was fucking wild. The amount of just topsy-turvy turns and just, we almost throw a pick six. We were almost down 14-0 before we could blink, but they luckily called back the pick six. There were 2 pick sixes called back in this game for LSU. Thank God. One of them, the whole play was brought back, no interception, but then the other one, the interception stood, but on the return it was brought back. Saved LSU's ass, or we were out of this game. South Carolina came out of the traps and hit us right in the face. And it really got William Bryce Stadium just hopping. That stadium was hopping from first, second to last. But it didn't matter. LSU were able to pull it out and get this fucking win. I am so happy for this team. That was a difficult game to win today. And you know what? This was just a sneaky game. This is just a sneaky type of game where there was a lot of just animosity between each set of players. You could just sense there was just a lot of intensity on that field, a lot of just bad blood out there. And you knew there was going to be some nasty hits and some pretty wild, pretty intense play. But this was far more intense than I expected. I knew it was going to be, 31-25 was my pick, and it was going to be close. LSU were going to have a close game, and it was going to be tight, and LSU were going to have to really survive in this game. I figured that would happen. I did not, in my wildest, fantasy, believe that LSU would have been up against it as much as they were in that first half. Yes, this game changed when we hurt Lenore Sellers. When LSU, who was it who hurt Lenore Sellers on that play? Was it Harold or I think it was Penn and Swinson? They hurt Lenore Sellers on the play, right, like 5 seconds before halftime. It changed the entire game because I'm telling you, Lenore Sellers was in this state of mind where he was going to beat us today. I just have a feeling a healthy Lenore Sellers beats us today. He was balling, and we had no answer defensively to him. It's insane. He had 88 rushing yards before the hit. 9 for 16, 113 yards passing the ball as well. Not too good, not too effective, but he gave you something through the air. But he had 10 rushes, 88 yards, 2 touchdowns on the ground. He was carving LSU up. Would he have beaten LSU? I have a feeling he beats LSU if he stays on the field today. LSU's defense looked terrible. LSU's offensive line looked ghastly. They looked weak. They looked exhausted and as tired as Brian Kelly said. But then guess what? In the second half, when real teams show up, when the real players show up, when the real dogs deliver, come out, and finish the job, Will Campbell, Emory Jones. You saw Garrett Dellinger kicking some ass on that final block as well. All of these guys came out and finished the job. But really, none of this is possible without, I think, two guys who their continuous playmaking in this game. I'll say three guys here. Their continuous playmaking in this game made this victory possible. You got Braden Swinson with 3 sacks, which every one of them were huge. 3 TFLs, and then a forced fumble that we didn't score from, but it completely screwed with South Carolina's rhythm, and they gave us the ball back twice in a row at that point. LSU didn't force South Carolina to punt the ball until 8 minutes and 35 seconds left in the third quarter. That's just unacceptable. But really, Swinson with the 3 sacks, the 5 tackles, the forced fumble, and then Aaron Anderson, 96 yards, 5 huge catches from 6 targets. And let's take a look here. Let's see if every one of them went for a first down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 of his catches go for a first down. Incredible. I mean, that's what you want. That's what you hope for. But Aaron Anderson, he didn't always have it going for him since he's been at LSU. In fact, he was completely anonymous last year. But for him to play such a pivotal role in a 17-0 come from behind victory, it's just beautiful. There's just something poetic about all of this, where Harold Perkins is able to play in more space. And here's the thing, Harold Perkins didn't even have to make the plays. Okay? He didn't have to make the plays. It was the attention that attracted to him that took it off everybody else. So maybe all you people saying, Lon, how dare you put our plans out there? Maybe you should let me do that every fucking time, because it seemed to work out pretty well in regard to Perkins. Because with Perkins, they took way too much time obsessing over what he was going to do, and they let Paris Shand make plays, they let Sage Ryan make a few plays, they let all these guys. Braden Swinson had a dominant game, 3 sacks. Mason Smith, B.J. Ojolari, Harold Perkins, and now Braden Swinson. 4 different guys in the last 5 years who've had a 3-sack game for LSU. While LSU hasn't had a consistent D-line coach. Very, very impressive to have that type of a stat line. LSU gave up 398 total yards in the game, 155 through the air, 243 on the ground, 243 rushing yards on the ground. Unacceptable. Could not stop the run. LSU actually rushed for 132. I believe that's the first game LSU has rushed for over 100 yards this season. Yep, it is. Without even looking, I already know it is. Only 285 through the air from Nuss. He was effective, but it was more balanced, as Kelly said. 13 penalties from South Carolina, 13 penalties. 32 different rushes to 40 pass attempts for LSU. So LSU threw the ball more, but it wasn't the air raid. 17-16. 17 points scored by South Carolina in the second quarter. 16 points scored by LSU in the second quarter. What a crazy quarter. And then LSU outscored South Carolina 20-9 in the second half. LSU should have put the game away in the third quarter. They had so many drives, so many opportunities, created so many turnovers, so many chances, and only scored just one touchdown. Could not get the 2-point conversion in that third quarter. Embarrassing. You got to finish the game right there. South Carolina were giving you the opportunity to literally finish the game right there. We didn't. And we fucked around with Robbie Ashford as their quarterback. And we let him get that team back in the game somehow, some way. Reggie, I'm sorry I can't answer the phone right now, bro. I'm doing a live show. You know that, man. You're calling me because I'm doing a live show. I can't talk to you. What's going on, man? One second. Let me tell him I'm doing a show. LSU, outscore them 20-9 in that second half, and actually do put the game away in some respects, but really left this thing late and by the skin of our balls. I mean, 6 of 14 on third down. Okay, that's a lot better, I guess. 5.8 yards per play. South Carolina had 6.5 yards per play against us. 6.5, 14.1 per completion. LSU had the ball for 5 more minutes, almost 6 more minutes than South Carolina. That is good. That is a good sign. That's good. LSU had 5 sacks tonight. 5 fucking sacks tonight. 9 tackles for loss. 5 sacks. This defense, I know we played like shit in that first half, and this defense were terrible. This defense was terrible in that first half. I get it. They came out in that second half and kicked so much ass. So did the offensive line. They were both very much improved. 180 improved, really. Offensive line still had some struggles here or there, but they really got it going as the game went on, which is a testament to the guys on that line able to dig deep and find a way in that atmosphere, in that environment, and get a win, drag it over the line any means necessary, with all the distractions, with all the insanity, with the third game in 13 days, all the injuries. We're not just talking we got some injuries, we got some boo-boos, that's an excuse. We're talking key guys, key killers on this team. The last guy who actually played on the field with the 2019 team, John Emery Jr., getting hurt. That's a big deal to not have a guy who has a championship ring. So does Josh Williams, but it's a big deal to not have a guy who scored 4 touchdowns that season in 2019 on your team. It's a big deal when you lose your starting defensive tackle and have to go to a true freshman who is a converted defensive end, Ahmad Bro, in his replacement. And guess what? I thought Ahmad Bro was fantastic tonight. He had one really bad play where he allowed a big run right through his gap, I believe. I'm trying to think of when it happens. We're watching the game right back right now, and damn, there's some plays Fortune could have made on the ball right there against Nussmeyer that could have been bad for us. He could have had there were so many turnover opportunities in this game. It was such a fun game to watch. Like, this game was wild. It racked your every sense, literally giving you heart palpitations. There's times you're wondering, Nuss, why are you throwing the damn ball? What are you doing? Don't throw it. No. and he's throwing the damn ball. Or there's times it's take a sack. But I don't blame Nuss for anything. Nuss went out there, got the crap knocked out of him tonight, and balled for LSU. He simply balled out for the Tigers and got us the victory. There's the final Swinson sack. You saw Paez making a couple plays. You saw some D linemen starting to step up. Oh, there's us. Wow. Caden Durham. This is just footage of how the eye of the tiger that he had. Here's this play from Swinson. If you ever want this type of coverage during games, go to @LonPhillips on Twitter, and you can follow us there, @LonPhillips on Twitter. Look at this. Swinson comes all the way around all those blocks and just swats that thing. They could have replayed that thing, but who gives a shit? Beautiful play. And Burns, I'm glad he didn't try and do scoop it and run it in. Just get on it, but still, maybe Perk is able to scoop that. Paris Sean had a brilliant tackle for loss in the backfield, which is beautiful. Caden Durham had the moves tonight. He was able to just fight through the tackles and just battle. 98 yards, 11 carries. He looked very disappointed not to be out there for the final carry of the night, which was had by Josh Williams, who scored the game-winning touchdown, which would have been Caden Durham's third of the game. So it's like, at least he didn't deny the young man a touchdown. Durham had 2 already, which helped LSU fight back from a 17-point deficit. Don't forget that. Caden Durham literally scores the first points to get us back from the 17-point deficit and gets us in position to win this damn game. We get over the line because of this true freshman today. This true freshman today wins this game for LSU. Let's see here. Yeah, LSU would give up. LSU gets that fumble recovery by Swinson. I mean, it's by Burns right after Swinson, and then they give it right back with a Nuss pick six that gets called back for a nasty hit on Nuss, a low hit on Nuss. It's like, Jesus. It's just, we threw away so many opportunities to finish this game early. We were lucky today. We were lucky, and maybe sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. LSU proved, though, that they were better. The offensive line was better in the end than they were in the first half. The defense was better in the second half than they were in the first half. LSU got better as the game went on, as the stakes got higher, as the lead got bigger against us. LSU got better as a team. LSU's staff got better. You saw that some of these calls that Joe Sloan had in the first half of the goal line were driving the entire fan base nuts, the entire alumni society nuts. And then in the second half, Joe Sloan is doing the dialing up absolute sauce. especially in the red zone, that it was finishing off drives. Yes, there was some poor execution, some poor plays in the second half. Mostly, this offense were able to finish the job as they should because Joe Sloan was calling a better game in that second half. Nussmeier was making better throws. The receivers started to settle into the game and started to really dial in and make that difference. Still, you barely saw anything from Kyron Lacey today. What did he have? He had 63 yards, 5 catches, and that 1 touchdown. 10 targets. That's surprising. I got to admit, that 10 targets stat right there is surprising. The touchdown was a beautiful play, though. But we didn't see anything from Lacey until that last quarter and a half. And then he took the game over. And then you saw Aaron Anderson making plays throughout the game. Mason Taylor, and just like Lacey, most of his plays coming in that end of that second half, scores a big-time touchdown in this game. I believe it was in the third quarter, right? Let's see when he scores that touchdown. Oh, yeah, it was the opening play of the fourth quarter. Opening play of the fourth quarter, they slip out Mason Taylor. That was absolutely sexy play design because they fake a jet sweep to Xavier Thomas. He's coming across the formation. Nuss and shotgun. Boom. He's got Caden here. He's got Xavier coming across. He fakes the Xavier. Fakes the Caden. Boom. Mason Taylor's wide open. There's just some sexy play design going on. Swinson made big time sacks throughout the game. And that was his one right before half that not only hurt Sellers, but basically screwed up their chance to score any points. They couldn't score shit. They could not score any points right before half, and that was so huge for LSU. And this is why you defer. This is why you defer. LSU probably do not win the game if they receive the ball, just because it's math. They run out of possessions. LSU probably lose this game because of that. Tonight, somehow, some way, even though we made every error possible, the blocked punt, we threw 2 near pick sixes that were bailed out by flags. We literally let South Carolina's putrid offense outgain us in the first half. We did everything you could to lose the game. We were down 17-0. We couldn't run the ball. We couldn't throw the ball. We couldn't do anything. And South Carolina had a stranglehold on us. Okay? And Lenore Sellers was starting to get going, and so was Rocket Sanders, and you just felt like they could actually run it down our throat all game long. This cannot happen, right? This can't be real. And luckily, LSU's defensive coordinator, defensive staff care more than people think they do, or are at least making enough adjustments to earn their money, because they found something to at least win LSU this game. And there's a lot of creative delayed blitzing, a lot of disguised blitzing from guys you wouldn't expect, sending Swinson out in space while Whit Weeks comes in and does the edge rushing. You did a lot of stuff that was, I think, really next level stuff that LSU should continue to do. If you just remain creative with this defense and with this offense as play callers, as formation developers, this team's going to have success. LSU could have gone 1-2 today. But the reason they didn't was because of just havoc like this. You got Sage Ryan coming in on a safety blitz. Harold Perkins blitzing at the same time from the other side. You got him right here. Whit Weeks drops. Oh, there's Perk. Never mind. Sorry. Perk come from the inside as well. Sage Ryan does not get enough credit for his speed. Look at that. Look at that. Boom. I understand he made that big whiff on the next play where Sellers goes for, let's see, what was the run by Sellers? He goes for like 60 yards on the play, 56 yards on the play or something. And Sage Ryan, he whiffs. 75 yard, a 75-yard long run touchdown. That's actually very interesting. Besides that bust, 75 yards on one play, LSU would have held Lenore Sellers to 13 total yards from 9 carries. Wow. So really, it's just that bust in the first half that Lenore Sellers was doing to LSU. But here's the thing: he was still making the throws, he was making the plays, and he had the presence and the confidence and the feel of a guy who was ready to beat LSU. That's what worried me. He had the feel of like a guy who's like, I'd seen that DTR tape, I've seen that, tape of the Link dude. What's his name? The Alabama quarterback. Oh my God. Anyway, he's driving me nuts that I can't remember the quarterback for Alabama's name right now, but whatever. Who cares about Alabama? But these dual threat quarterbacks that have beaten LSU, he felt like he's like, I'm next. He had that smirk about him and that vibe about him, and it was like, we can't let this happen. Fuck South Carolina. LSU cannot let this happen. Slam your foot down right onto their throat. Finish this thing off. And LSU could not finish this thing off. They had the entire third quarter to build a lead. And instead, LSU continued to find themselves, down 4, down 5, And then for once, we take the lead to start the fourth. And we piss it right away, just instantly. They go on that huge, crazy play. And it just... LSU constantly. Robbie Ashford throws a bomb on us. It was just like, come on. And here's the thing, LSU were bailed out by a ton of penalties tonight. A ton of penalties saved our ass tonight. Absolutely. Anyone who disagrees with that is a little kooky, in my opinion. Penalties, their 13 penalties, South Carolina's 13 penalties, saved our ass. That was the play that made it 17-7 right there. Caden Durham. Unbelievable, beastly effort. We're going to get rid of that so we don't copyright, because we shouldn't be copyright struck, because this was that punt block that was just ridiculous, guys. Look at that shit. I mean, my God. That was a young man who just barely got a scholarship, and we let him block our punt like that. This is a team that has improved and gotten better as the game has gone on, and snuck out of South Carolina with a victory, as they should have. I predicted LSU to win by 6. LSU win by 3. So much more adverse and tougher than I expected, where LSU played a diabolical first half. And then let's not forget, even in the second half, there was moments where Nussmeier looks over the sideline and the ball snapped and hits him in the chest. And then the ball bounces away, and then they recover the fumble. Some of the mistakes that happened today from our offense especially, There's a few big busts from our defense, but our defense actually, I thought, stepped up in this game and handed the offense an opportunity to actually score almost 50 points on South Carolina. Because look at, we scored 36 points while barely cashing in any of the turnover opportunities we had. There was the pick by Xavier Thomas, or not by Xavier Thomas, pick by Zy Alexander, and then you had 4 forced fumbles. One by Swinson that was recovered by Major Burns, another by Savion Jones that should have been recovered. Jordan Gilbert fumbles one. Forces a fumble way early in the game, and then Sage Ryan forces one that's fumbled by Harold Perkins. You had these plays that LSU should have cashed in. South Carolina were doing it to us early in this game. They were cashing it in on us. I had the sense and the feel that we're going to lose this game. They're starting to cash in plays on us and score points on us, and they're playing like garbage too. They're not even playing that well. We're going to lose this game. Oh my God, and I wasn't really panicking, but at 17-0, I'm thinking, this ain't good. How are LSU going to find a way out of this other than throwing the ball a billion times and hoping this defense can get some turnovers? And then right then, the defense not only gets some turnovers, but then Caden Durham answers the call and gets the running game going some way, somehow. And then that opens the floodgates and gets the pass rush to back off just a little bit. And Nussmeier is able to at least throw the football enough. 285 tonight, 2 touchdowns through 40 attempts through the air. 40 attempts, over 20 completions once again, 24 completions. It was just crazy to see Will Campbell getting pummeled in the first half. Crazy to see Will Campbell allowing sacks. But it's just him, reminding us that he's human. Because in that second half, you saw him back to normal, bulldozing people. LSU came out a different team in that second half. And it was thanks to, Caden Durham. Caden Durham was told to come off the field multiple times and was like, nope, not interested. Nope, not interested. I'm on this fucking field. Give me the ball. That's a dog. Keep him on the field. Start him. Play him. Give him the football. He would not be stopped. He would not give in. I love watching Caden Durham run, and actually I'm pissed that he wasn't given an opportunity to go over 100 yards. I'm pissed he wasn't given an opportunity to win us that game, but at the same point, I feel fantastic because LSU won a game they had no business winning. They should have lost this game in the first half. But then LSU came out of that second half and took this game right out of South Carolina's hands. South Carolina didn't just believe they could beat us at that point. They thought it was a lock. And LSU reminded them, you're just not there yet, South Carolina. You're just not there yet. It's just, there's some worrying patterns with Brian Kelly. I think we have to look over here. Okay? And it's not, hey, let's shit on a win. Hey, let's act like our coach is a terrible coach, even though we just won the game. Even, whether he won, whether he lost, I'm going to say this, and I think that's how you should do it, because, I wrote this not thinking we were going to lose the game, but it was not looking good, right? But now I'm still saying it when I could just bury it and we won. I'll just hide this and pretend I'm all in. I gotta call it like I see it. Brian Kelly has some patterns to his coaching that leaves me and LSU in a weird situation. I just feel like there's some patterns. None of these teams really can run the ball or sustain a dominant rushing attack. Okay, so you cannot dominate rushing the football. You get pushed around more inside the trenches, even with high caliber, recruits, big time guys that end up being top draft picks. You get pushed around on the inside in totality. It's kind of strange. We do not start games hot. That was a problem all last year, that we could not start games well, that we started games terribly last year, even with that juggernaut offense and one of the worst all-time defenses we've ever seen. Um, it was a season where LSU could never start off a game hot, except for the Mississippi State game, and even that game they still kind of limped out of the traps. This season, if LSU continue to play like this outside of the traps, you come in right out of the tunnel and you play like this every game, you're going to lose more than 4 games this season. It just cannot happen. LSU have played like absolute garbage from the beginning of games for way too long. Jay says, never want to hear you crying about 40 being on the field again. He was horrific. Absolute liability in the run game. You talking about Whit Weeks? Yeah, Whit Weeks, he made some mistakes. I wouldn't have called him a liability, though. Are you kidding me? He led the team with 11 tackles. 8 of them were for solo. Yes, he was not perfect today. He was not. He was still flying around side to side, though. Sideline to sideline, flying around. So, it sounds like if anyone's crying, it's you, because you're poo-pooing on these kids when I understand. There were some sloppy performances out there. There were some awful performances out there. Whit Weeks was not one of them. He made some mistakes in an intense environment. He gave up that big run up the sideline to Rocket Sanders, but he was not the only one who gave up the run. If you actually watch that play back, watch Greg Penn III completely get sucked into that gap, into just this netherworld of Davy Jones. Gets completely just, and he's screwed. And then you've got one-on-one blocks behind that. It's just one-on-one in speed. The dude has all the momentum. When you're talking about Rocket Sanders flying up the sideline, Whit Weeks, by the time he's even close to recognizing that he's flown past him, he's already 10 yards away. And then it's easy for everybody to be like, it's on that guy, because he's the closest guy chasing him. And it's like, so what? If he quits on the play and just watches him run, then no one's going to blame him, but you're going to blame him if he's chasing it. Like, I get what you're saying. He made a mistake on the play. But to me, it seems a little like you're just ready to blame whoever made the mistake and whoever you think made the mistake. Ashton Stamps allowed some catches today. He didn't look good at all today at times. But then he made a play that saved 4 points in this game, which is ultimately what decided the game. This play right here. We got to show it, whether we get that strike or not, because this play, in my opinion, this pass breakup on a 3rd down held them to a field goal when LSU were down 7-0 already. That, to me, it switched things. LSU were about to go down 14-0. We almost had a pick 6 as well. That got called back. This play was huge. Stamps just barely gets his hand in there at the right time and just snacks that out of there. It's just beautiful. crying about Weeks J. Who is crying? You probably cried that night. We can't let Lon break news. No. Patron Berto says, the line is no push. It breaks my heart. Bro, Patron, you're my dude. How you doing, brother? We need to keep talking, man. I love when you hit me up on DMs. You've always got some cool insights. You always know what the hell's going on. I love talking with you. You're a good bro. Thanks for hitting me up. Thanks for watching the show as well. This is awesome that you're in here. This game was wild, wasn't it, brother? Where are you watching from, Patron? Where are you from? You from New Orleans? Curious about that. Lincoln Sanders says, word of the day, improvement. Yeah. This team, as I just said, improved. We used your word of the day, actually. This team improved as the game went on, and so did the coaching staff. And they got better, and they got the win, just barely over the line. But you know what? There's some things that are worrying about this team. There's some worrying things about the staff. And if we keep wasting points, if we keep throwing away possessions, we're not gonna have a successful season. We cannot play like that again on the road in the SEC. We just can't. You can't throw interceptions. You can't just cough the ball up. You can't just get punts blocked. All of this in one game. You screw up a PAT, you get a punt blocked. You throw an interception. You get outgained in the first half. You go down 17 points. Usually you lose a game just with half of those, And LSU survived every bullet that came their way from South Carolina. It's really quite incredible. It's really quite an incredible win, and Brian Kelly absolutely needed this win. People talk all about how Shane Beamer needed the win. Well, guess what? He's now going to remember where South Carolina is on the totem pole, where they belong on the totem pole. And South Carolina are going to still be a doormat for another few years because of this loss. This was a chance for South Carolina to become something again. This might cost Shane Beamer his job at some point down the line. But LSU, Brian Kelly absolutely needed this game. It wasn't as outwardly obvious as Beamer. But oh my God, the negativity around Brian Kelly had LSU lost this game would have been. Yeah, you saw it. You saw it. So like I did in some of the group chats, right? It was getting hot. The fans were on fire saying, oh, teams are going to come poach our players. They always are going to try and poach our players. So that's something we always have to worry about. But I get what you're saying. It would be easier to poach them if we're losing to a team like South Carolina and all this shit. Well, we didn't, thank God. And LSU had everything going there, going against them in this game. Even poor refereeing calls. Clearly, C.J. Daniels makes the catch, and they take them 10 minutes to review this thing. Clearly, Kyron Lacey makes the catch. They call it incomplete on the field and then reverse it right there at the end of the game. Brilliant catch that puts us right there on the goal line. They cheap-shotted Garrett Nussmeier at least 3 or 4 times in this game. Those South Carolina South Carolina defensive linemen. They're a bunch of fucking assholes. They were trying to hurt our quarterback today. I seriously piss on their beds. If you brought all of those defensive linemen's beds right in front of me, I would line up and just piss on all of one of them. Fuck you. You literally came after our quarterback. You came after Nuss trying to hurt our guy. I'm going to piss in your car. I'm literally going to piss in your pillow. So then you get into bed and you're like, oh, yeah. Oh, what's that smell? I don't know. Oh, it's okay. And you get in there and you lay your head back and you lay your head into a soggy, just pillow of piss. That's what I want to do to all these defensive linemen. That's what I want to do to these refs. Fuck them. Fuck these assholes. Fuck their buttholes. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. College football is back, isn't it? Because I'm getting savage. Oh, it's great to see Jelani Watkins on the field again. Jelani Watkins is back as well. He's looking good. Xavier Thomas was a beast today. I love the confidence he has in the return game. I love the confidence he has in the catching the football and the plays he's making. And this just bugs me. They showed so many shots of Chris Hilton on the sideline. What are you doing? Why are you showing him like that? You're putting him in a weird spot where the fans can ridicule him for, hey, look, he's not playing. He's soft. When maybe we don't even realize how serious his injury is. And in the meantime, we're all blowing him up saying he doesn't want to play. He's soft. He's never going to be a guy who's going to be available. And you just wonder how much better would Chris Hilton Jr. make this offense, this passing game. Today we should have scored over 45 points with the turnovers and the opportunities that we had. LSU left countless points on the field today. I'd at least say 12 or 14 points left out there. And I think that's a conservative estimate. It's just not good enough. LSU are going to lose a second game at some point here. I'm fearing it's going to come sooner rather than later. I'm fearing it's going to be against an opponent we can't fathom or even stomach. But thank God it wasn't against this South Carolina team, because if it was, this South Carolina team is so bad. The South Carolina team they're just not a good team, to the point that really everyone around Baton Rouge, everyone around the program, everyone around Kelly athletic department, it would be now you're under a microscope time. It's not just a hot seat. You're under a microscope, Brian Kelly. Are you really a culture fit? All this stuff that even the fans laughed at and were kind of like, of course, culture fit? Come on, look at the recruiting. This, as he get fit this way, is he doing this? No, come on, forget it. But there's some things with Brian Kelly that must improve. There's things with this staff that must improve. As top of the line as the staff is, the players, to me, were the ones who really carried the water today. Yes, they were screwing around in that first half and it was sucking, but they really got it together and won us that game in that second half, with Joe Sloan having a very strong second half play calling wise for the most part. Play callers are never going to look good with a first time quarterback, because there's going to be mistakes that they're always going to take the blame for, that people just aren't in the booth. They don't know what the play calls are, so they don't really know who to assign blame to. So they just assign blame on whoever they see first and think is the person on the field who screwed up. But it could be everybody from the quarterback to the offensive line to the coordinator, to a mix of all three, or a part of them. We threw way too much to the outside. What are we doing? We had so much space across the middle of the field. I don't understand why we're throwing over these out patterns. We did that against USC. Nowhere to go with the football. Garrett Nussmeier today, I think you've got to say he's a 7.9 out of 10 in the grading him. 24 to 40, 285, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. I understand he almost threw 2 pick sixes. And there were times where he made some really poor decisions. And there was times he got walloped. And there was times he made bad throws that got, the guys got the hands on the ball, especially Fortune. He got his hand on a few of them. In totality, Nussmeier delivered LSU this victory. LSU needed the turnovers, I should say. Nussmeier had to cash those plays in. Caden Durham, the legs of Caden Durham, absolutely delivered victory as well. Braden Swinson's 3 sacks absolutely delivered victory as well. There were some big factors in this game to delivering victory, but Garrett Nussmeier was definitely not a hindrance on the team. He was not in the way of victory. He went and he led LSU down the field to win to the win. Like he went down there and LSU could have screwed up again inside the goal line, and it could have been like, wow, we're really going to be a choking team. This is going to be us. And instead, it was like, nope, we're finishing this shit. Oh, there's the block punt on the film again. Oh my god, that block punt is incredible. Did he recover it too? I mean, that guy was almost gone. Peyton Todd with the block. He took an eternity to boot that thing. That's the thing, is the D-line itself hasn't been good under Bo Davis yet. But the edge rushers were unreal. Savion Jones, another sack, another TFL. Whenever Harold Perkins was coming off the edge, of course. Braden Swinson, of course. We'll say his name again. 3 tackles, 3 TFLs, 1 forced fumble. Just a complete performance by him. Parishon had a sick-ass TFL. Zy Alexander with that pick from corner. Stamps he got beat on some plays as well, but he rose up with that huge pass breakup. LSU allowed a couple big plays in the passing game, but really gave up nothing passing-wise. Running the football, Caden Durham, without him, does LSU win this game without Caden Durham today? It felt like one of those divine, yes, this is the moment where everything aligns. This is the young man who's supposed to win this game for us and deliver us from South Carolina evil. And of course, it was to come to pass, as he had 2 touchdowns, 11 carries, and 98 yards. Just a beast. Just agile, could not be tackled easily. Just absolutely worked people into the ground, burnt people to the quick. He was fucking brilliant. Oh, that's what it is. Brett Guillory tagging me and all this stuff. All right, Brett, we're going to tag you in a bunch of shit now. Hmm. I am absolutely blown away that LSU. Oh my God, LSU played as terrible as we possibly could. We're down 17-0. A team that's never faced this type of a situation with these leaders in positions like Nussmeier, the starting quarterback, Swinson, the starting DE, Perkins, the number one veteran linebacker everyone's looking at now, not a linebacker. Whit Weeks starting his first game of the season and his first start since Missouri last year. Leads the team in tackles with 11 tackles. This guy wants to shit on Whit in the comments saying, "Oh, he allowed this one run." Who gives a fuck? He also made huge plays, 8 solo tackles that helped us win this game. People saying the same thing. Sage Ryan had the whiff on the run, but it's like, so did the entire fucking defense before him. And I understand. It is a safety's job to at least slow them down, even if you can't stop them. And he should have done a better job of slowing them down. He knows it. But Sage Ryan made one of the best plays this defense needed at the time, which was literally some type of energy, some type of juice. Just take the fucking ball from them. That's all. Like, we didn't even score, I don't think, from that turnover. And if we did, it was a field goal. And it was purely about just, hey, you're not gonna do this to us. You're not gonna sit around and just be able to beat the shit out of us and casually just kind of pitter patter with our face and take a shit all over our house. Like, this is not happening. Not in our watch. And it was beautiful to see both, Sage Ryan and Harold Perkins working together on a play where they're both blitzing in there. Harold Perkins from the inside, Sage Ryan coming up from free safety. I love the creative blitzes I saw from Blake Baker. You saw Ashton Stamps coming in on a corner blitz at a few times and making plays. Zy Alexander went down with an injury later in this game, and I hope he's okay. I hope to God he's okay. In fact, let's look for any Brian Kelly press conference. A lot of people saying Brian Kelly's job is at risk at LSU. Look at this. Look at this. This is literally trending on their little AI thing. I want to shut that thing down. But you see that? Ryan Kelly's job at risk at LSU. You see that right there in the right hand corner? Just highlighted it. Crazy. Do you think Brian Kelly's job is at risk at LSU? And if it is, why should it be, and who should replace him if so? My issue is the 10-year contract. I don't know what you guys think about a 10-year contract. Obviously, these things can get bought out. Obviously, these things can change. But yeah. I don't care. I'm never giving anybody a 10-year fucking contract. No way. No how. No way. No way. 10 years? Are you kidding me? That's madness. That's insane. And the money he's receiving out, I mean, right now, 78.9 buyout. Just nuts. $78.9 million buyout. It's almost like Jimbo Fisher money. Like, LSU, was Brian Kelly going down this rabbit hole? Brian Kelly, the right way to go? I don't think this game really told us a definitive about the future for Brian Kelly, the future for his era, because LSU still escaped with a victory. Had we not, It's a results industry. You know what's going to happen if you lose this game. The seat's going to get hotter. He's going to be under a microscope. If LSU have a torrid season, under Brian Kelly, it's not like you can just lose 6, 7 games if you're Brian Kelly at LSU. You cannot afford to do that. You will be gone. Like, it doesn't matter what his contract is. LSU can afford to buy that out. But I think what Scott Woodward is going to do is give Kelly at least time enough to get his 2025 class in place and see what Bryce Underwood is capable of quarterback. Potentially 2026 after the battle against Nuss 2025 will be interesting as well. But I need your guys' opinions. Is Brian Kelly's job at risk, or should it be for this game? Those kids absolutely took that from South Carolina. They would not allow this game to be stolen from them. If South Carolina had won this game, yes, they ran down our throats a section of this game for over 200 something yards. I wonder what their rushing yards were after the first half in comparison to the end of the game, but couldn't have been more than 70 yards, 60 yards, because we stuffed them in that entire second half. The defense felt vastly different from Lake Baker from first half to second half. First half, you almost felt some Matt Halcyon vibes, especially with the soft-ass coverages. And then in that second half, man, it felt like that's our defense. And I take that back. It started at the end of the first half. It started with, Savion Jones making a big stuff and being like, come on. And then 2 plays later, Sage Ryan has the strip sack. Harold Perkins recovers. From then on, LSU's defense played better in the game. They got better. They still made some horrid busts that cost them points. Screw them. But that reach out by Caden Durham, oh my God, that's so beautiful. And that's to make it 17-7. LSU needed 7 points, not just 3, and he did everything to make sure we got in there. Caden Durham has to be your starting running back at this point. He has to be. You've seen 3 games from Caleb Jackson, and you haven't seen anything. It's stunning. People want to criticize Whit Weeks. Shut up about Whit Weeks. Whit Weeks had 11 tackles. Caleb Jackson has been off. 7 rushes for 27 yards, and guess what? That looks like Caleb's best game of the season right now because he hasn't been running the ball well. I think he literally had like 34 yards before this game, sorry. He had 42 yards on 13 carries at 3.2 per rush. 2 receptions for 13 yards, 0 touchdowns in either category. 0 scores. Last year he had 4. He had 4 touchdowns, 165 from 31 carries. He's already got 13 carries, only 42 yards on the board, 3.2 per carry average, 0 scores, averaging 5.3 per carry last year, averaged 8.8 catching the ball last year as well. Only 2 catches, 13 yards, 6.5 per catch, but he was effective whenever he's gotten the ball, receiving. But running the football is where really there's been a big surprise to, I think, all of us to see Caleb not fulfilling his expectations, our expectations for him, his expectations of himself. It has been stunning. It's Let's see here. You know what's crazy is Caleb Jackson tore his ACL coming out of his senior year in high school. That's just nuts. And I think the 35-yard extra, sorry, 35 yards, 35 pounds of extra weight on him is not helping. He just looks slow this season, guys. He looks slow. And LSU's running game absolutely needs speed and making guys miss, not just tripping over people, you know. Caleb Jackson's so good, and someone today said, Caleb Jackson isn't him. Caden Durham is him. Caleb isn't him. Caden is him. And it's like, okay, I get it. One of them's having a better game than the other. Caleb hasn't looked good all season. I get it. Caden Durham's putting the team on his back. At the same time, Jesus, it is a long season. Things change. And it's just, this is going to continue to develop throughout this season. But you saw a better schematic defense today, this morning, I should say. You saw a better defense schematically. Perkins on the outside, Whit Weeks on the outside, Penn in the middle. Maybe you should have Whit Weeks in the middle. Because I'm not sure Penn really is that Mike linebacker. You really want that guy to be able to go sideline to sideline everywhere. Hasn't been able to because, yeah. Sorry, I got distracted by this game. This game is so fucking weird what happened in this game. Every second there was some weird thing. The refs were terrible. The atmosphere was insane. Congrats to Williams-Brice Stadium. Like, you guys showed out for your team. Yes, South Carolina suck a bunch of cocks. Yep, I said it. And, since it's the week of Gamecocks, we can say it. South Carolina sucks a boatload of cocks. But you know what? You guys showed out for your team, and that's fantastic. You guys kept that place rocking, and you made LSU want to beat you even more. Because if it had been a flat atmosphere, LSU wouldn't have won. It may have gotten away from us. South Carolina did a lot in this game to deserve to win, but when you have 13 penalties like they did in some crucial moments on some critical plays, we're talking 2 penalties out of that 13 that took 14 points off the board. 2 pick sixes off the board. You usually catch 1 pick six in a game. You're usually statistically going to be the team that's going to win. It can be 0-0 and you catch you go up 7-0 in the first quarter. It is such a big deal to get that pick six. It is so huge. They would have had 2. Game would have been over. 47-36, South Carolina. Instead, they make 2 terrible penalties out of the 13 that they made. and they gave LSU 123 yards in penalties. They gave LSU points with penalties. That is why the game is won. And while LSU didn't score points every time they got the turnovers, they were able to milk clock and take away enough juice and momentum from that offense to take them out of rhythm. I mean, Rocket Sanders still had 143 rushing yards on 19 carries with 2 touchdowns, 7.5 per carry. Lenore Sellers averaging 8.8 per carry, 88 yards, 10 carries, 2 touchdowns. They killed us. And then second half, Robbie Ashford, 11 carries, 11 yards. He did have a long of 15. Okay. Oh my God, guys, this is absolutely insane. Is Brian Kelly's job at risk? With LSU sneaking out, almost getting to a second loss. I wouldn't say it's at risk right now. I would say you continue to play like that, you will most likely lose a few games. And we'll see how that happens, how that transpires then. At this point, dude has a massive contract. He's got a lot of belief within the athletic department. He has done so many miraculous, incredible things on the recruiting trail, as well as kind of changing the whole way that we are able to recruit the quarterback position at LSU. Him and Joe Sloan. You can't just throw him away right now. You think firing Brian Kelly is going to make sure you have Bryce Underwood? No. You might lose him if you fire Brian Kelly. You might lose Bryce Underwood if you fire Joe Sloan. And I'm not saying just be terrible and let your team be terrible because of this recruit and this quarterback that's coming. Oh, we'll be terrible until he comes, and then we'll be fine. He'll save the day. I get it. It's foolhardy. It's foolish. I just think more patience is required. LSU are now 2-1. Season is just barely started. The leaves are not even on the sidewalks yet, okay? The leaves will start falling on the sidewalks in the next week or two. And then we're going to be feeling like it's fall now. It feels like fall here in Utah right now. It's getting a little cool at night. Like, I love it. I love it. Love the hoodie weather. But we're not there yet. People keep saying Weeks was really bad versus the run today, like really bad. I don't think he was that ghastly. Yes, he had that one play against Rocket Sanders, and then he had a play where he had Sellers, or I think it was Rocket Sanders, 4 yards, 3 yards behind the line, and literally goes to get a TFL basically, or at least no gain. It was 3rd and 2, and he lets them hit him back. He gets lunged back and then driven back more. Like, here's what Weeks, here's the guy. He goes, boom, 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 just ran him down. So I was blown away when I saw it. I was like, whoa, what Weeks got ran down there, whoa. But then he completely turned it around. And I think he made some tackles that are going to be subtle, that are probably going to be forgotten in the grand scheme of things. But he prevented some big plays today. Big plays today. That really, when he makes those stops, keeps it 2nd and 6, 3rd and 6, instead of 2nd and 1, 3rd and 1, like, that's huge. And he was doing stuff like that throughout the game. 11 tackles, 8 solo, a couple pressures, including one on 3rd down that forced an incompletion, a terrible throw. He actually had a guy wide open, Robbie Ashford, but he just made a terrible throw because Whit Weeks was right in his face and was about to just pop the shit out of him, polish his face mask. Turd Ferguson says, thoughts on Parishon? I love Parishon. I think they should actually kick him inside and play him more. Um, I don't really see him as an edge rusher. I see him as, an interior defensive end or, 3 through 5 tech defensive lineman. Like he's got that girth about him, that size about him, that mass that he can play inside and play defensive tackle. That was another thing. 2 fucking dead ball timeouts in this game. Like, holy crap. I really want to count how many dead ball timeouts there have been in the Brian Kelly era, because there have been so many, and it's just unacceptable. It's so bad. It's so bad. But Parishon, to me, with a unbelievable TFL that we talked about earlier, that was a big play. It forced a huge, huge third down stop as well, and basically gave South Carolina no options on third down. They were screwed on the third down play call after the stop he made. It's just those type of plays are what, in the aggregate, come together and give you the win. And that's why Parishon, he just continues to impress me. I don't know why. He's like the only player on Twitter who has ever blocked me on Twitter. Parishon. I have no clue why he's blocking me. He's probably doing it on accident. Probably misunderstood something we said, but big fella, we have nothing against you, nothing towards you, no bad vibes, no bad choo-choo. You're an incredible player, and we only continue to sing your praises and only have. I don't think I've ever said one bad word about Parishon since he's been at LSU, because he hasn't gotten as much opportunities as he should have, and B, he was really fantastic whenever he's played. He's been extremely consistent. Here's another play that we wish we would have had back. Nuss overthrows C.J. Daniels, and he has to make this crazy, crazy diving catch in the corner of the end zone. But, ooh, my God, I thought he got a toe tap there again. I know he doesn't, but it's just so, close. What's the flag on? Holding on the offense, so it wouldn't have mattered anyway. This is when LSU were down 7-17. LSU, in the end here, have to settle for a field goal. What a game this was. Caden Durham needs to be running back 1, Turd Ferguson says. Of course. You run like that, our rushing offense needs a spark. He's the guy. Do it. Maybe it'll kick Caleb Jackson's ass into gear. Maybe it won't. Maybe Caden will be that guy. Oh, my word. What did we see today? LSU giving away a game. LSU nearly getting blown off the field. Oh my God. This is just such a crazy game. Football is insane. Football is such a great sport because you never know where that ball is going to bounce. You never see where things are going to be going around that bend. Ever. It's kind of funny. There's people who are trying to troll me because your guy Weeks didn't play well, and your guy Sage Ryan didn't play. And it's like, actually, you look at it, all these guys helped us win the game. Like, whether you like it or not, like, it's just a fact. But really, I think Aaron Anderson, I think he doesn't get enough credit as someone who helped LSU win this game today. I think 5 catches, 96 yards, huge. Set us up constantly with short fields, so punch it in. Let's see. Yep, on LSUODYSSEY.com, we've got this, the postgame live right now, simulcast on both of these platforms, Twitter and LSUODYSSEY.com and YouTube, all at the same time. This was the part of the game where I feel like it really could have gone away from us here because it's 17-10, right? LSU felt some momentum kind of getting back into this, and they score to make it 24-10. It's just like, oh my God. Is this going to be what's going to happen today? LSU really going to lose like this? They're going to let this team walk all over them? And then not only that, but LSU are going to have all these moments where they could do something, make something happen, and they completely shit their pants and basically just hand the other team the ball, just like USC, but even worse. Like, it would have been very hard to accept for any of us, especially after USC. If we beat USC, it would probably be enraging just by the fact that we're 2-0. What are we doing? But this run again by Sellers, oh my God, he's barely even moving. This guy's barely. He just looks like he's flying, like he's flying, gliding. Okay, let's see. Let's see who really fucks up here on this run. Okay, we're gonna pause it. Trying to send this out real quick to everybody because I forgot to send out the links to everywhere. I don't want to get the copyright thing. They'll probably already try and copyright strike me for this, but I won't be able to. But let's see here. And you don't have to take my word for it. You can watch it yourself. But Sage Ryan makes the whiff. He does have a bad missed tackle here. That, I mean, you've got to be the guy who's, no one's getting past me. But you can see immediately he has so much to run in. JVR Suggs misses him right there. He has a chance to get him. Greg Penn III completely misreads the gap and is manhandled by number 52. Jordan Gilbert is completely out of position. He should be towards the middle of the field, kind of center, and he is all the way out of position. I could show you the still of this. Let me show you the still of this. Let's change the background so we can. Okay. See that right there? Already you've got Swinson out of position, missed him. This is the rusher. He's already past here. Suggs is missing him. Jordan Gilbert's all the way over here. Gilbert should be like right here, coming in here, and this guy would be down, right? Because Suggs might not be able to get him totally himself. But if Gilbert's right there, he's going to go down, right? Those two guys are going to get him down, you think, And I know Sage Ryan is over here, and he's about to whiff. But you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 guys right in this area who all completely fuck up this play. So I understand. Like, Sage Ryan completely whiffs on the tackle, and he screws up the play. but you cannot just put this entire play on him. Just like I can't put a play from last week against Nichols all on Major Burns. You know what I'm saying? So you take the good with the bad. I would rather have Sage Ryan, you know, getting that sack and that strip and that fumble. I'll I'll take a whiff once in a while. He's going to actually make plays for us on the field, get the ball taken from the other team. We can't have any more whiffs though. We can't do it because Sage Ryan gives up a touchdown right there. And that's the first touchdown allowing play he's given up in over a season now. He had 0 touchdowns allowed all of 2023. 2022, how many did he give up? I think he gave up at least 1 touchdown pass. He's had a few mistakes in the run game and a few missed tackles before in the run game, but this was probably his worst play. This guy just goes off for, he had that missed tackle where he tried to get the guy last season and everybody clowned him for it, and it was kind of just harsh. And it was like, yeah, I get it, it's deserved, but come on. He was actually one of the better players on this team. Get off his ass. This defense sucked, and he was one of your better defenders, big time. Okay? That was just the proof. And he didn't really back me up on this because he makes a great play, a play that let me talk my shit, And then right after this happens, I'm just like, oh, Sage, damn, man. It's not all on Sage Ryan here, but he totally has to get in the way of this man and just slow him down. That is everything you're told as a safety. Slow him down. Just slow him down. Sage Ryan almost gets out of the way. Okay, look at this. This is literally a second after the snap is taken. Already this guy is just being manhandled. Can you see that? Or do I have to? Yeah, I'm going to have to turn this off. Already this dude's being manhandled. We don't want to get the copyright thing, so let's go back here and see if that works. Okay. So you can see he overruns it. Swinson overruns it. Almost everyone overruns it and then has a chance at him and just completely screws it up here. So this is literally everybody screwing up in every one of their positions. Sage Ryan is at safety, the last man standing. In his position, he screws up as well, but he screws up. Everyone notices because you're the last man one-on-one and you screwed up and he scores. And that's kind of what you have to live and die by, What a wild fucking game. LSU win 36-33. We need some interaction, though, people. We need some people to come in here and talk their shit. Ashley S. Tiger said, we couldn't do shit in the end zone. I damn near had a heart attack when Lacey caught that shit at the 2. Because, oh my God, we cannot get the ball in the end zone. Well, we did. By the skin of our teeth. Let's see this. Someone just said Sage Ryan has missed more tackles than anybody on the team this year. All right, let's look it up. LSU defense missed tackles. Let's look this up, and we'll whatever it says, we're gonna. Last year, Sage Ryan had the third most missed tackles with 11. He was behind Andre Sam and Harold Perkins, who were tied with 15. Okay. This year, Zy Alexander has the most missed tackles. Oh, no, sorry, he does not. PJ Woodland has the most missed tackles with 3. Harold Perkins with 2. Jordan Allen with 2. Braden Swinson with 2. Jair Brown with 1. Jordan Gillett with 1. Gio Pays with 1. Sage Ryan wasn't even credited with a missed tackle on the play. He wasn't even credited with a missed tackle on the play by Pro Football Focus. Very strange. Whit Weeks. Oh wait, no, sorry. The game hasn't been tallied yet. My bad. We'll see what they do. I wonder why the grades aren't out yet. Usually when the games are late and stuff, you know that it's going to take like a whole day. It's going to take till the next morning or whatever, but like, come on. LSU were doing the towels. Let's get this virtual background off again. Look at that. LSU with the towels. They got the rally towels. Oh, man. Just clowning South Carolina. LSU have some major issues. This game, it feels good to get the win. It does. I'm not going to lie. Because I expected us to lose this game at one point or another in this game. I expected it. It was not feeling good. I expected it pregame, in fact. We predicted a 31-25 victory for LSU, though. And the reason we did that was because we felt that there was just no way LSU could lose this game. There was just no way, right? No way. And they made sure that they didn't lose this game. They made sure, hell or high water, we are leaving Columbia with a victory. No matter how many mistakes we make, no matter how many times we give them the fucking ball, no matter how many times we trip over ourselves, no matter how many times we piss our pants, no matter how many times we completely screw everything up and almost hand South Carolina the victory. You give up 17 points, a 17-point lead before you even wake up. You're down 17-0. You're down 14-0 right before half. And you're able to flip that completely and be down by 2 points, 22 to 20 to 24 within seconds of the third. Like, you really change things. Only 1 yard allowed in the entire third quarter after allowing 265 in the first half. A blocked punt that was returned inside the 5 that led directly to a touchdown from South Carolina. You know, you gave up the ball with the fumbles. You just were constantly. Oh wait, the fumbles. We didn't fumble it, did we? We didn't fumble the ball, did we? No, we didn't fumble the ball. I don't think we did. No. Sorry, meaning constantly giving the ball away with stupid, wasteful possessions. The interception in us. It feels like there's way more interceptions. It feels like there's 3 interceptions in this game, doesn't it? But it's because 2 of them were taken off the board. That's what screwed my mind. I was going to say, you keep giving the ball away. And then I'm like, no, Nuss only threw 1 interception. And I'm like, fumbles? And I'm like, no, we didn't do that. We didn't fumble today. Sorry about that. Kyle Kernard had 1.5 sacks, 2.5 TFLs. But Dylan Stewart had zero sacks, 0 TFLs, 0 total tackles, 0 breakups, 0 quarterback hits, 0 forced fumbles, 0 fumble recoveries. Or sorry, he had 1 fumble recovery. We had 1 fumble, and Dylan Stewart had the fumble recovery. My bad. I love how I'm like 0 fumble recoveries, and then he actually had one. It was on the Garrett Nussmeier play where Garrett Nussmeier's hit in the chest and the ball goes bouncing. He turns, looks at the sideline, the ball hits him in the chest, and it goes tumbling down. And that was when Stewart hops on it. That is his only registered statistic of the entire game. It was a big play. But we shut that freshman powerhouse down. Okay? But Kyle Kennard was incredible this morning. I keep saying tonight. He was incredible. For me, LSU's best players, for me, has to be, of course, Braden Swinson's up there. Of course, you've got to have Garrett Nussmeier. I think he hung in there. I think he made brilliant throws. Every one of these throws in crunch time were locked in, just beautiful passes, pressure in his face, taking hits, hobbling. It was a gutty performance from him where he dragged LSU's corpse over the line at all costs. Caden Durham, 11 carries, 98 yards, 2 touchdowns. Just give him the 100-yard game. Like 8.9 yards per carry from Caden Durham today. 8.9 yards per carry. Aaron Anderson, 96 yards, 5 catches from 6 targets. Brilliant, devastating with the football in his hands. Xavier Thomas, what did he have in the return game? I swear he at least put up some yardage. Let's see here. 65 total, 50 kickoff return yards. So here's the thing. He's going to rack up yards in the kickoff return game. He's going to rack up yards in special teams. I love it. Oh, that's sad. Caden Durham had 98 yards rushing and then 1 yard catching and 99 total yards. Like, oh my God, just give him a yard. Just give him a yard. 3 returns for Xavier Thomas, 50 total yards, average of 17 yards per return. Wow. Damian Ramos, of course, 2 out of 2 on the PATs. You only kicked 2 PATs and you scored 36 points tonight. Very funny, very funny. I think Kyron Lacey is still leading the SEC in touchdown catches. We'll take a look at that. But wow, show already going over 2 hours. How's everybody hanging out there? How's everybody doing for their Saturday? Now you can just chill and ruminate on all of the craziness of LSU and how we should have lost this game, but didn't. And what's ahead? LSU now have to face UCLA at home. What is that game going to bring? I think it's going to bring a 34-21 type of middling victory again, where LSU don't look too impressive doing it, but pull off the win, do just enough to win. And I think that's kind of the identity of this team right now. We're sloppy. We don't look good doing it. We don't have a bunch of guys that just pop out at you as like, that's a superstar right now who can put this team on his back. There's a lot of potential for the future that's shining bright. But really, I think LSU are a sloppy team right now. I think LSU are an emotional team right now. They look tired as well. This is going to be a big week of rest after 3 games in 13 days. Now the schedule will start to feel kind of like it gets back to normal and starts to settle down. But I always knew when I saw the schedule come out, I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. LSU play USC on the 1st of September. We play Nichols on what? Then the 6th the 7th of September. 6 days later, and then 7 days after that, we play today, South Carolina. And so people are going to overlook that, but that's 3 games in 13 days, traveling from Vegas back to Baton Rouge, Hurricanes, guys getting injured, season-long injuries, and then to the complete East Coast. You've gone from west to east. It's a crazy ride. And this is a huge win from LSU. This could propel the Tigers forward to a big season. It could also have exposed a lot of glaring weaknesses in this team that are only going to supply more defeats for this team. Like, I think right now, if you were to say LSU weren't going to lose another game after this, and it's going to propel them to like an undefeated rest of the season, I think you're crazy. I think you're on meth. I think LSU are going to at least lose one more game here. This is a team that are capable of pulling off the comebacks, surviving adversity, finding a way. You saw all that. It was amazing. But also, they found a way to almost give this game away. They found a way to get down by 17 points. They found a way to make Lenore Sellers look like Michael Vick. They found a way to almost lose a game to South Carolina, a team we have no fucking point, no reason, no way losing to. LSU never lose to South Carolina, ever. LSU haven't lost at South Carolina since 1930. LSU haven't lost to South Carolina since 1994. And I'll be damned if I survive and live through another LSU loss to South Carolina. Everybody want to say hi to Seiji? He just came down from upstairs. Well, everybody, thank you so much. We might be doing more coverage on this. We're probably going to write our article like we usually do, of course, tie a bow on this game. So watch out for the article. It's going to definitely go in deeper, go in with even more surgical precision. And thank you so much for joining us. We went live with the final minutes of the game. You got to see our live reaction to the final plays, to LSU ripping this game right out of South Carolina's mouth. I love it. Fuck Shane Beamer. Fuck South Carolina. Go LSU. Go Tigers. LSU gets the win, 36-33. They get out of Columbia. They give their fans victory, even with a very dodgy, terrible, potentially worrying performance in that first half that may spell some really bad future outcomes for LSU if we do not get this taken care of, as far as the offensive line, as far as the defensive busts, as far as some special teams errors. It was all over the place in that first half. You made every type of error possible. And still LSU wins this game with a 20-9 second half outscoring total, taking over time of possession, making it happen in that second half. LSU's defense came to play in that second half as far as turning the ball over, as far as making opportunities for LSU, as far as closing the door. LSU get the win 36-33. Garrett Nussmeier leads the final touchdown drive, and Josh Williams punches it in. Big game for LSU. Big win for LSU. Still, every game now for the rest of the season, you're looking down the barrel of a gun. How do you respond? What do you do? You got to improve. You just got to keep getting better. And that's it. Go Tigers, everybody. See you on LSUODYSSEY.COM.